Hi Callie, hi Gwendolyn. I just took my hair out of this like updo thing, so I kind of look like an evil unicorn villain, but we're just gonna roll with it. Today, I just wanted to sort of word vomit about a couple of poetry things that I've been thinking about lately. Like, Alex will listen to me if I need to talk about like writing things, and he's a very good listener and very good, and he's good at engaging with conversations. But he's not a writer and he's not a poet, and I don't have a lot of writer poet friends in the area, and so you guys are my outlet for these types of random thoughts. Last week I messaged you guys a poem, and I'm going to read it to you. So it's by Douglas. I'm gonna guess that it's Getch, and it's called Smell and Envy. So it says, "You nature poets think you've got it. Hostage somewhere in Vermont or Oregon, so it blooms and withers only for you. So all you have to do is name it, Primrose. And now you're writing poetry. And now you ship it off to us, to smell and envy. But we are made of newspaper and smoke, and we dunk your roses in vats of blue. Birds don't call. Our pigeons play it close to the vest. When the moon is full, we hear it in the sirens. The Pleiades you could probably buy downtown. Gravity is the receiver on the hook. Mortality we smell on certain people as they pass." This poem just really stuck out to me because I've been reading and writing a lot of nature poetry lately. And what I really love about writing it is it really is kind of easier than other poetry, because like he says, so all you have to do is name it, Primrose. And that's just like so many natural earthy terms are so pretty. Maple, hemlock, fiddlehead ferns, ivy, posies, baby's breath, lavender, rosemary, basil, cedar, oak. I mean, I could just go on and on and on about different pretty nature terms. I recently bought this, it's called a fern book. I just absolutely adore ferns. I remember going to a camp when I was little, and while everyone else would like go play soccer or football or do some sort of physical activity, I would go on the nature trail where there would be a counselor that would walk you through and teach you all about plants and animals and insects. And I probably went on the nature trail like every day and just heard the same information being regurgitated, but I just loved it. The second book I got is called Trees Shown to the Children, and it's just the cutest book. It's like a school teacher, I don't know what year this is. A school teacher, I don't know when, taught all of her students different tree species, and created all of these botanical diagrams for them, and somehow like got this book published, and it's just gorgeous. I also have this book of North American birds that my grandpa and I have looked through together because he loves birds. And look at all of these gorgeous drawings, and they have really like funny poetic descriptions, which have inspired other poems just because they're so well written. So I've always included like nature images in the poems I write, but I really started, I think, doing it more seriously once I went to, I think I told you guys about this, went to a poetry reading with the lady who currently runs Open Books with her husband. They're about to sell it to a new owner, but she read from her collection called Wood Note, Christine Devil, and it's just about her childhood growing up in Indiana, which I don't really think of as like a beautiful state, but after reading her all of her poems, it just sounds gorgeous. It's just the Pacific Northwest is just, to me, heaven on earth. There's no other place I would ever want to live long term. I need to be in a place with lots of trees, and I love being close to the mountain. I love being close to water. It's just, you can have it all here. So anyway, this is turning into a tangent that I don't know where it's going, but basically I've been writing nature poetry, and I think it is because it's easy. Like the guy said in the poem, you throw out a word like primrose and you got half a poem. I mean, it's easy. and it's really satisfying. Another thing I've been doing in poetry lately is I've been doing imitations, which I kind of can't believe because it felt so redundant in at UW, because like every professor in every poetry class had you do imitations, and it was just like, okay, we get it, this is a thing, this is an exercise. But it's been really helpful and really enjoyable to write little imitations. So I've done an imitation of a Phoebe Wall quote that I turned into a poem. I did an imitation of the Love Like Salt poem that I sent you guys a couple months ago. I wrote Love Like Sugar. And then I've done an imitation of Psalm 23. And it's been really fun. Another thing I've been thinking about is poem seeds, which a poem seed is what I call just like a random line or title or concept for a poem that I'll get, and then I'll type it up, and I have a little poem seeds folder on my Dropbox. And a lot of times I'll feel guilty about these little poem seeds. Like there will be like a little tiny voice in my head that's like, you are such a slacker. Like these aren't poem seeds. These are poem orphans that you've abandoned. You're so lazy. I have this like natural inclination toward feeling guilt and shame about every little thing, but I'm going to work really hard to not let myself feel guilty about them, because I shouldn't. They're great to return back to so when I feel like I want to write but I don't necessarily have anything on my mind, I can go pull up a poem seed and work on one of those and let it germinate. When you go through like famous poet or authors like journals, they have these poem seeds. When you go through a famous artist sketch pad, they have little doodles. They have little like painting seeds or drawing seeds. Yeah, they're nothing to be ashamed of. They're awesome and they're creative and they have purpose. So there's my poetry word vomit. I hope you guys are having a good week. I hope you are writing beautiful things, and I hope that you are happy and healthy, and yeah, have a good week.